baby, so I took a year off, but my husband ran in my place. He's not here tonight. He's with the baby. And he will never do it again, ever, ever, ever. But I was very appreciative of him doing it that year. And I have my niece here tonight. She's going to do it with us. It'll be her first year, so we're going to get her 10 years plus started early in life. So, yeah, so we're really glad you guys came tonight, and we'll just try and fill you in on everything you need to know. And yeah.
So before we get into the fundraising, we do have on the back table, back there, we have these fundraising bundles for you. There's a form letter here for you and pledge forms to send out. They are in bundles of 25, so we encourage you to take as many as you need. There are also these sheets for business sponsors, so if you are considering asking a local business to sponsor you, this is a really great way for you to share with them what you're doing. And then we also have some more shoes, coupons, $15 coupons, so if you are in need of a new pair of running shoes, grab one of these. We also have extra team shirts over there. If you want to take a training shirt, please do. They're free. Go dig through the bin, find your size, grab a shirt. We have a lot of extra. So if you're wanting some extra training clothes, those are yours to grab. And there's also some fun license plate covers over there if you want to spread the word with your car. So those are free as well. So take one of those. Anything else? Nope, I don't think so. I think that's all. So before you leave, don't forget to grab your fundraising letters and pledge cards. If you need more, you can contact your team leader. You can contact me. I usually leave a box of them out on my front step for people to come grab because sometimes you find that you need more. I know that Dottie usually has extra too. So if you run out, don't feel bad about saying, hey, I need to pick up some more.
Yeah, any team leader too. And I think our team leaders tonight should be wearing a shirt. Some are not, but that's fine. Can you raise your hand just so people know who to go to if you're interested? So if you have questions at any event, if it's not tonight, if it's a training run and those faces look familiar, just ask any of them and we can help you get what you need. So just to talk a little bit about this last year and the trip we took, we had kind of a guys trip go down to visit the new home that was built in Ranchi. And Joey here, Braden, who's not here tonight, Barry, who's here, and Steve, Dottie's husband, all went down in March, and they were able to kind of hop around a little bit, see some orphanages through Bangalore, Varanasi, which is a place we have a really big orphanage there. It's kind of a darker place, which they can share or not share, but like it's really good that our presence is there and that those kids have a place to be and loved and hear about Christ. So our new home has I think about 30 boys. It's a boys' home, right? 20 boys? Okay. So maybe Barry, we'll start with you. We'll have you just get up and talk a little bit about your trip there, and then Joey, both of you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Like she said, we went to India. It was an interesting trip, but it was a great trip. And it was good to see where our money goes. You guys are thinking, okay, where's this money go? The old building that these boys stayed in Ranchi there were 4 cots in a room, probably the size of this stage.
Yeah, it was really small.
And it was really small, and all the boys slept on cots right next to each other. And there's 5 or 6 in each room.
It's kind of like a bunkhouse.
It's the bunkhouse.
2 rooms with, I think, 18 boys in it.
Yeah.
So.
And the conditions in that old place were pretty bad because they've got leaking water and black mold. And the new building that we paid for is awesome. I mean, it is 3 stories. Everything's brand new. New bathrooms, new showers, new bedrooms. It's awesome for them, and the smiles on their face when they saw they couldn't go in the whole time until it was being built, and they weren't allowed in it until we went and dedicated it. And so when they went in, just watching the smiles on their face was just, I mean, it's hard to describe. I mean, the ones that have been to India, it's really hard to describe until you're there and you see the smile on their faces. That makes it worthwhile. When you're hitting 12 miles, you'll see those faces and you'll go, this is why I'm doing this. So,
Yeah, and like Barry said, some of the posters that people put out as we go along the course, you'll see, especially in our kind of 52-4 only race, you've got posters at different mile markers, and it's just, that's what the kids look like, and it's interesting because kind of going over there, I always thought of that as like a 52-4 thing. We're a part of a bigger ministry, and we're a very special part of that bigger ministry. They're trying to take Christ to as many people as they can, and our part is providing resources for these kids that nobody wants. Over there we saw the way that people are treated when they're in a lower caste. We were actually in a rickshaw driving, and our driver was taking us to like a marketplace, and he entered an intersection, which we couldn't tell because there's like no traffic rules over there, but he entered an intersection, and a police officer started blowing his whistle at him and yelling at him, and he starts beating on the front of the car with a cane, like this rickshaw, and then he just like clocked the guy, and he doesn't think of him, as he would a normal person, so he's kind of like in a lower caste, and these children are in the lowest caste. They're the least of people over there, and the way that this ministry treats them and provides for them and takes care of them, and it's amazing. And they're very good with their money. I mean, we kind of saw like they're trying to stretch every dollar as far as they can. They're very resourceful, and they gave us stories for how they purchased all the different properties, and there's a lot of prayer and a lot of patience involved, and it was just nice to not only put some faces and names with the pictures that we've seen, but also just see like how well they're taking care of the kids. You drive around and you see there's a lot of people living kind of in, we would consider it squalor. We got to visit a slum church, and as we were walking through the slum, there's some ladies that are sweeping their dirt path to clean it up. So they're sweeping dirt off of dirt, which, kind of, I was like, that just blew my mind a little bit, right? They're like trying to keep the dirt clean. And it's just like the building that Barry's talking about, this new orphanage that we paid for, it's got tile floors, it's, concrete, it's painted nicely, it's just really nice quality. And they're, these boys, and I think all of them are special except two in Ranchi.
yeah, just two.
So they're all special children. They have this, great place to live. They're going to get the right nutrition, and they're going to get medical care and taken care of. So it's pretty amazing to see that our running has provided such a great thing for them.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We can clap for that. Thank you guys for sharing. I mean, I think it's so important to be able to be there on the ground, whether it's a men's trip with 4 or 5 guys going and seeing what's happening down there, or whether it's a leadership team trip or just a couple people. But they see us as much as they know what we're here doing. They know we're here running for them. They know we're here praying for them. And so to be able to even just have them see our faces, come down there and spend time with them, it's just really important for them too. And then for us to come back and share with everybody else who is dedicating their time and their resources and their money to something so special, it's just good. So thank you guys for sharing that.
And we know that it's really important. Well, 52-4 as a ministry, it's incredibly important for us to be open and transparent with you guys as fundraisers and with our donors. So if you have donors that have questions, or you have questions about where the money is going, you are welcome to ask, and we will show you and tell you. But the money is going to very real, very tangible things that are being used in India. And so we just want to communicate that transparency and openness is important, because we do say 100% of our money goes to India, and 100% of it goes to India.
To the kids, yeah.
To the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Benefit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a good kind of segue into my next topic, which is this year, where will our funds be allotted, and kind of that process and how we decide that each year. We typically start asking Guna and the staff down there, hey, what are your needs this year? What are you guys looking at? And so we get kind of an idea of what is coming and what's needed. They've shared a few things. There's a new project in Calcutta. We'll ask, HIV, nutrition kits, medical needs for the orphanages, maintenance for the orphanages, sometimes a new orphanage. I know in the past we've spent money, all our money went straight to one whole new orphanage. So we kind of just, and then it comes back here and our board of directors gets together and they vote on and kind of just discuss and pray over where the greatest need might be. So this year there might be a need for the widows. And so, it goes to the kids. The widows also that have HIV, they end up, if we have money that goes towards them, sometimes they end up making, we have also, I don't know that we have any out, but they handmake things. And there's people with special needs that handmake things. And then all of those get sold. And then that money goes back to the kids or back to the orphanages. So it's just such a cool community of resources and how everybody comes together. And then it gives them a purpose as well. Sometimes the kids get involved with doing things to raise money, and they know it's going back to someone else. So it's kind of just wherever the greatest need is, and then a lot of prayer and deciding. But we always, once we go there and decide, we always try and let you guys know after the fact exactly where all the money went. So there shouldn't be any question, come full circle where all of the money went.
But if your donors have questions about where is the money going, like these are some ideas that that the ministry over there has given us to where it might be going this year, so you were able to share that with them. And then later on, once the board has voted on it, usually we kind of know by the time thank you letters go out, so you can, when you send thank you letters to your donors, you'll be able to say, hey, we raised this much money and it went to such and such a place.
Maybe we bought 2 buses. One year we bought 2 buses so that kids could be transported back and forth. So yeah, we usually know, and it is good to have it before you thank your letters, because then you can tell them where their money went. So with that, the importance of fundraising. That is why we're running, right? Like, why else would we do that? Some people love it, love running. I do love running. I love it, but to have a heart. Okay, I don't love running. But I did have, before I started this, I ran and I did it for my own selfishness. It was enjoyable for me, whether it was my mind or my body, and to now have this purpose is just, it's beyond rewarding, So the fundraising is why we do it. So it's really important that as much effort as you're putting into all of your training runs and all of your weekends and all of your midweek runs and your cross training, be praying and thinking about ways you can also put that much time and effort into fundraising, whether it's yard sales or get with your church if you can have a bake sale, or let your kids make bracelets and sell bracelets different places. I mean, people have come up with some really creative ways to fundraise, and then really be praying about your letters and what you want in your letters, because that will be your basis of your fundraising when you send them out to all of your friends and your family. We have some sample letters over here, so if you guys need some ideas, get your phone out, take some pictures. Some are really short and sweet, some are long, some added in, like, here's what my family's up to, and our whole family's part of this now. And one of mine, one year I put pictures from past trips I've been on, or my running, or my family, or even kids in India. So you can kind of do it as simple or as complex as you want, but the fundraising portion is really why we're doing this, so that we can get money over there, resources over there to really help them in a hands-on way. And there's no minimum, so don't worry like, oh, I haven't raised enough this year. I've only raised, this much. There's $100 makes a humongous difference over there. So don't be discouraged if you feel like I sent out this many letters and nothing's coming back, or I've only gotten one. I mean, that is one more than we would have had you not sent out those letters. So just keep in mind the importance of fundraising, and that there's no minimum. So don't worry about that.
And it is not lost on those of us, especially who've been doing this for a while. It can be really overwhelming and take a lot of time and a lot of different pieces and parts. You gotta get stamps and envelopes, and you gotta have make it fun. Maybe you have a friend who you're doing it with. You could, plan a date to have your letters done by. Then you could get together and do a letter stuffing like party or something. But try to be creative. Team leaders are really a helpful resource for you if you're kind of stuck and you're struggling and don't really know what you should write or who to send your stuff to. They're another resource for you to go to sort of pick their brain. They've been doing it for a while. So when you're thinking about who to send your letters to, Dottie always says, like, she sends hers out to her Christmas card list. That's a really great place to start. So if you're a Christmas card sender, you could start with that list. And then consider, like, all the other things that you do in life. Your hairdresser, your chiropractor, your dentist, like, really whatever your sphere of influence is, don't be afraid to send a letter. Because I've been doing this for 15 years, and one time I got a letter back that said they would pray for me, but they would not financially support me. So only one time. So the worst that they can do is send you a letter like that or just not respond to you. So you really are out nothing by asking.
And I work in an office setting, and I have a lot of email contacts, like even out of state. And I remember the first year I was so nervous, like, these people only know me in a professional way. Why would I send this? It feels weird to ask for money. I got more money that year than I could have imagined. People are like, that is so cool. And then I started getting letters from them, from things that they're involved in. And so it's just, it kind of opens the door too. So don't forget about people you work with that you might think don't care. Like she said, the worst that can happen is they can say no.
Yeah. And like I said, like all of our spheres of influence are different. Some of us know like 500 people. Some of us know like 20 people.
Dottie.
Yeah. Dottie's list is really big and long. That's great. Mine is not that long. But you will be surprised. Like I am surprised every year at who actually like sends funds and supports me. So it's amazing. It's encouraging. So I just would really like ask you guys to be imaginative and creative in who it is that you're sending letters to, and don't be afraid to do it. This is an amazing cause, and the Lord is going to bless all the funds that come in. And so we just appreciate that you're putting all this effort into doing this with us and for the kids. So, okay, so we're going to go over a little bit of letter writing. So like Dom said, we have sample letters over on the window. And letter writing is kind of old school now. A lot of people do stuff through emails or social media. But we really encourage you to write a personal letter. It's something people can put on their fridge or on their counter or bulletin board at home, and just a way for you to personally, like, really explain what it is you're doing and why you're doing it, the heart behind what you're doing. So, and it just is a little extra effort to get a handwritten letter from somebody. So with your letter, you'll be able to, this is when you'll put your form letter in. These are old, but, so you'll have your handwritten letter.
You can type it.
You can type it, yeah. I say handwritten, but typed letter. And then you'll put your form letter in here that is back on the back table. And then also your pledge card, which has a space. You can use these for business sponsors as well as personal sponsors here. And then we always like to include a self-addressed envelope. You can stamp these too if you want, but all of this goes into an envelope, and that's what you will send your donors, like this. So we'll just send that around as an example.
Yeah, if you want to lay it on the table and take a picture of it,
Yeah.
that's helpful for me because I get to doing it and I'm like, what all do I need? So it's like,
I forgot.
just keep track a little bit, or reach out to your team leader. But
It's important.
you're gonna like go to Target and you can get a bit, or wherever. They're pretty cheap at Target. Envelopes.
Yes, they have them at the dollar
Yeah.
store, you guys.
Yeah.
Like the
Big long
security
ones and then
envelopes
little
they have at the, well, it's the $1.25 store now, but they still pretty cheap. So
Yeah. So I mean, just keep in mind, get a big long one that you're gonna send out, and then little ones to put in it. Just put your own address on a whole bunch of those and pop them in all the other addressed ones.
yeah. So just be thinking about the things that you would want to put in your letter, and like start like keeping notes. So maybe you have some thoughts about it and you jot it down and then come back to it and actually write your letter so that it's not so overwhelming all at one time. And again, if you are, needing some inspiration, you can take pictures of those letters on the wall, or ask your team leader or any one of us that's here tonight. So Joey, do you want to talk about
Really quick, does anyone have questions about that?
The
The letters
website?
that are going out.
I have you on here to talk
Good.
about.
Oh, Joey, your name's on here.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't, but that's okay.
This is about the website profile letter.
Okay.
Here's your line. Talk about those
Great.
things.
You have 2 lines.
Great,
You
okay.
have 2 lines.
So, everybody, hopefully you're signed up on the website. You pay to sign up on the website so you get registered with all the races. So we'll assume that you've done that. And if you've done that, we have created a runner page that you can customize. And so when you go to the 524.org website, there's a button that says sponsor a runner. And if you click that, there's a search box and a list of everybody who's signed up. So if you search for your name, you'll pull up your profile and you click on that. And on that page is a profile you can customize. So if you log in with the way you signed up, there's a way you can edit it. We actually have a video on the website that kind of talks about how to do that. I don't need to get into the details there, but on there is like a little thermometer bar too, that when people go and donate, if they want to donate digitally, they can use that page. And your little progress bar will fill up as people make donations. And so if people don't want to send you cash, if you don't want to manage checks, you can tell them to go to the website. And for those who don't want to send a letter, which you definitely should, or if you want to send a letter and then like post something on social media, you can grab the link to your runner profile, attach it to your social media post, and people can get right to your page. There's a sponsor me button at the bottom, and they click that, and they can either use a PayPal account, or if they don't want to use PayPal, there's a credit or debit card option. And so they can sponsor you directly from that page. And if they're worried about because people can leave comments on there as well and kind of cheer you on. So you can have them do that, or they can do it anonymously. And then for anybody who pays through a check or cash, if they send it back to you and you turn that in, it gets added to your amount as well. So you can kind of see over time, you've got this little thermometer filling up. And so for everybody who signed up, you start out with this goal of $1,000. You can customize that the same way you can customize a picture on that page. You can customize the text on it. So if you want to, be more ambitious, feel free to increase that amount, and it'll adjust your little thermometer bar. So strongly encourage you. If you're going to send out emails, put a link to that profile in your email. Put it in your social media post. A lot of people like to do digital these days, so make sure you let them know that that's an option, so that if they don't want to write a check, they don't have to.
So I would just say with that, I'm a big social media person. But like you said, I still send out a letter. So a lot of people might get the letter, but then they're also going to see. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what that little business form says too. Like if they fill those out, and online too, they'll get a receipt at the end of this that'll tell what they donated. But I would just say, like Joey said, if you do social media, that's totally fine, but still send a letter because, like Katie said, the in-person is so nice. And then social media is kind of a good reminder. Maybe you send your letter here coming up, and then as you're running for that month, maybe post, hey guys, I did my run. Here's a link if you want to sponsor me. Hey guys, I did my second. I'm barely surviving. Please donate. However you want to share that. But that link is so great because it takes them straight to you and your little profile. So like Joey said, I encourage you to get on there if you've signed up already and go play around and look at your page. You can edit some information on there. You can add a picture of you or whatever's important to you. And yeah.
One of the other things to keep in mind is as you're receiving funds, so as people send you checks, or somebody like business sponsor, keep a list, just a running list of that for your thank you cards later. So we do have our accountant. She does all of this volunteer, so she does this all after her regular job,
Which is like 4 other accounting jobs. So,
So we like to have some grace and allow her lots of time to process she will at the end of the season, once she gets everything processed, she will send you a list of like people that donated to you, so that you'll have that. But just in case, you don't want to miss anybody. So if you keep your own list and then you have her list, you'll be sure to catch everybody that donated to you. So, you wanna talk about-
Oh, okay, I guess I touched on social media. So I also do the social media. So if you have any questions about that, or you see us posting, that's me. So you can ask me questions, or if no one's getting back to you, that's my fault. I'm sorry, but so I kind of use that as a platform to sometimes talk about the kids, sometimes talk about our runs, sometimes talk about you guys as runners. So I might ask you throughout this season and training, to do a little interview. I won't post a video, but maybe just like a picture of you and kind of profile our runners. We just want people to see who we are as a community and stay active out there in the kind of social media world, because like Joy said, we're very digital these days. So we can get a lot of attention that way and a lot of people that are interested in what we do.
Yeah, so if you are on social media and you are kind of documenting your journey and taking your donors along with you for your training and for your runs, be sure to tag us in those posts, because then they can go to our page and see more of what we're doing.
And we'll like repost your stuff and just try and get the word out of what we do. So I also do, which is sort of turned into a fundraiser portion of this, but I do all the sweatshirts that show up right around when we start running. So if you guys want a sweatshirt, be thinking about it, because it'll be first come, first serve, and then they're gone. And it's usually our logo, and it's a different sweatshirt every year, so some of us get overly excited about that sweatshirt situation. But
We have been.
we do, and Shop Strange does that for us. We go to them, they give us a discount, and so I don't mark them up very much. I mark them up just enough to make a little bit of money so that it's a part of the fundraising, and then all of that money from the sweatshirts goes straight back to India. So that's sort of a way I've gotten creative with fundraising, is we get to enjoy having a sweatshirt, walking around with our logo all winter long and being a part of that, but then also raising money. So again, however you guys can get creative with the fundraising is a good way. But sweatshirts will be here by our packet pickup usually. So
Yeah. So some other ideas for fundraising, which you mentioned a little bit earlier, you can do garage sales, you can do bake sales. We've had people teach Zumba classes for donation. When my kids were little, we sold Otter Pops that are co-op for donation. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to be creative for fundraising.
and really quick, if you do a yard sale, one year I did one, and if you reach out to people, reach out to a team leader and say, I'm doing a yard sale, and if nobody else wants to do it, bring all your stuff to mine. We did that. Joy, she gave us so much stuff. Like, we did a fundraiser, and more stuff showed up than I could have imagined. I'm like, oh, I don't have that much stuff. I don't know. Oh my gosh, people were so ecstatic to give someone else the job of doing.
Right.
So if you do a yard sale,
And then
let
people are
us
so
know.
generous when
Yeah.
they know that your money
Yeah.
is going somewhere else.
Yeah, we had like the kids put up signs for 52-4, so then people know that they're not just yard selling for you, they're yard selling for, a good. So if you decide to do that, let us know, because people have stuff for that.
So it's just like a good idea. Brainstorm with some friends. Reach out to a team leader if you're like not having any ideas about how to fundraise. But there's so many creative things out there for us to do. Okay, so turning in funds. So now you've done all of this stuff, right? You have all of this money. People are mailing you checks that are made out to 52-4. You're like, what do I do with these? So the number one best option is to deliver them to the drop box at Dottie's house. She has a locked drop box on her front step, and I have the address for that. So if you don't know where that is, I can give that to you. But it's open all the time. You just drop your money in there. She checks it every day during training season, so that is the best way. You can turn in funds at group training runs to your team leader, to me, or to another team leader that's there, or to your team leader. That's another way you can do it. can turn in funds at the races directly to Dottie, or sometimes Steve is there with his satchel, which is full of funds. So that's another way. But it's as you can save them until you have a good chunk and then turn them in. I know I like to turn mine in like as soon as I can because I don't like holding on to them. Like I don't want to be responsible and lose a check. So as soon as I get them, I try to turn them in as quickly as I can. So if you have any questions about when or where to turn those in, we'll make sure that we'll send out an email with all this information in it, and the address to Dottie's house with the Dropbox there will be in that email. So, and then again, I mentioned this a minute ago, but our accountant, she is all volunteer, like so many of us are, or all of us are. So we just ask for a lot of grace in the time. We know that it takes time to process all of the funds that come in. So if it's been a while, please check in, but know that it will happen. Your funds will get processed even if it's at midnight, on a Saturday night or something. So we just ask for some grace. And then Dawn mentioned this too, like there is no minimum to raise, okay? So this is not like team in training where you have to raise so many thousands of dollars. Again, all of our spheres of influence are different, and so if you raise $50, that's amazing. If you raise $5,000, that's amazing. So we are not going to turn any funds away. So I don't want you to be discouraged if you only raise, this much money versus the person you're running next to has raised so much more. So don't get discouraged. All of your money goes to help those kiddos in India, and it's all super important. So.
And just to touch on, you might start getting funds like even into your running. So if you have like an envelope with your stuff and you run into one of us at one of the races or at a meeting or something, you can turn it into us at any time too. So
we take funds all year.
Yeah.
So we even have people have checks that come in after the races. So money is still getting turned in at our post-race party. I have money still we're selling extra sweatshirts at our church right now. So there's still money coming in. And so we accept donations all the year round, 365 days. So it's never too late to turn in your funds. Business sponsors, we have these flyers for business sponsors. This is another way that you can raise money. So if you know a friend or local businesses, they're the best ones to reach out to for sponsorship.
Or if you own your own.
You can use these flyers. It's a great starting point to start a conversation for them. There's also a QR code here that will send them directly to the payment page, which doesn't send you to the runners to your page. It will just send you to the payment page. So if they're wanting to donate to you specifically, they'll have to write your name in the comment section. So just be aware of that when you are talking to them. Business sponsors, their logos are due by August 26th. So we have to have them earlier so that all of this lovely stuff can go on the back of our t-shirts. So we need time to get them organized and then screen printed. So that's why the date for those is earlier. We will still accept business sponsors after that, but we just can't guarantee that they'll be on the shirt back. So we have different levels of business sponsors. There's $1,000, $500, and $200. We get this question every year, and it's everybody's like, "What's the difference?" There's not really a difference. Placement on the shirt back is really the only difference. So if you're a $1,000 donor, the logo will go just higher and a little bit bigger font on the shirt back, and then the same with the $500, it'll just be the middle, and then the $200 is the lowest on the shirt back. So there's really not that much delineation between the logos, but if they donate, we will have their logo on this kind of stuff. So next year when we have a business sponsor flyer, all the logos from this year will be on that flyer. All their logo will be shown at any of our 5204 events that we have media at. So their logo is shown in more places than just on the shirt back, but that is deductibles, and they will get a tax deductible receipt from our accountant.
Okay, it's on the
Yes.
website too.
What's on the website?
The logos are all.
Oh, and the logos are on our website as well, so that's really good information to tell them. You do email, so when you get a business sponsor, you tell them that they can email their logo directly to you, and then you can email it to me, or you can give them my email address and have them email it directly to me. Just have them say, I'm, such and such a business, and I'm sponsoring, your name, so that I know who to attribute it to, and make sure that it gets in the right column. So we place it in the correct place on the back of the shirt. So if you have any questions about that, I know a lot of places ask what type of logo. I don't really know that, so I just tell them to email me whatever logo they.
And it works, right? They all
Yes.
seem to work. Yeah.
Usually a business will send me like 3 different types of logos, and then I just send all 3 of those to our graphics design gal, and she picks the one that works the best.
Or like their email signature with a business usually has a logo, and I've just tacked it from there right over and
Yes.
asked them, does this logo work that's on your email? And they say, oh, that's great. And
It
that one
seems to
seems to work.
It seems to be less important, the format, nowadays than it was like
Yeah.
15 years ago.
They can,
So
yeah.
they seem to be more manipulatable.
Joey's like, it doesn't matter at all.
Joey's like,
Actually, I think black
you
and
guys
white
are
is
talking nonsense. Black and white is the best. Black and white's the best, so they have one of those. Okay. Printer needs.
Okay, so not only is everyone volunteer that does everything for 52-4, so that all money can legitimately go to the kids, but basically all of the stuff we have, I mean, you see posters, you see graphic design, you see our running shirts, like that's all donated by businesses or people who want to give in a different way than maybe just money. They bring something to the table just saying like this is a donation, and so we get so much stuff, very grassroots. It's actually really cool when you start seeing how many people give. One thing every year that we need, and we always are like a little stressed, and then it always works out, is a printer for our running shirts.
Yes.
So, Joey, will you stand up? Our printer, the running shirts come from Idaho Running Company. Every year they give us every runner's shirt. They just give us a giant box, and then the front and the back of these, they still need printed, which Idaho Running Company doesn't do. So we have a graphic designer that puts it together, sends it to us, and then we have to put the shirt and the logo together, print it, and we need a printer, is my point. Every year we need someone who can donate the printing. So if you know anybody who owns a business that does printing and they want to donate, maybe talk them into donating the printing rather than money. But if they want to give money and we can give that to printing too, that works. So just keep that in mind if you guys know any printers. We need that every year.
You know what the typical cost is for printing those shirts? What they would be donating?
We can get you that. We can tell you that because we have had someone say right up until the edge, hey, have you found a printer? We're like, no, and they said, okay, give me a price because I'll pay for that. And we have had somebody pay for that 1 year. So we can get that for you because that's good to know in case we're in that situation again where we don't necessarily have a printer donating the printing. And then we also need every year, if you run with us, you've seen how cool our race bags are, or if you run with other runs, you see how cool the race bags are. We want to have a race bag full of goodies for you guys. So again, that's all donated. Some people donate chapsticks, some people donate water bottles, some people donate bars. Businesses donate all sorts of things, and so we want to get creative. If you know of anyone or you have any kind of connection where you can drop a sticker in, or like in the past, Great Harvest has put in a loaf of bread for free. So we put in a little tag for everybody can go to Great Harvest and get a loaf of bread. I mean, any kind of donation we can get, we love to be able to put something cool in the race bags for the runners. So if you have any connections, yes, Sarah. Yes, so whether you donate quill eggs or you sell your quill eggs for fundraising, get creative.
Sarah's gonna give us all coupons for But some businesses really do like to donate product instead of cash, so it's a really great way. Power bars, water bottles, it's just another option.
Yeah. So just be thinking of people you know and different things people could donate to us and ways they could contribute to, just to
And
make it cool.
If a business donates product, we will put their logo on the back of the shirt
Yeah.
if we know that, like by August 26th.
How many are you looking at?
We have 100, we're about 110 right now is our team.
Yeah.
So,
And we extended the registration to the end of this month, so if you have friends who are thinking about it and they're like, darn it, just you rope them right back in, because they have a couple weeks. Yeah, so about 110 bags so far. Also, we need volunteers for, well, I guess our races. The 4 races that we do, basically the way we do it is we kind of, a couple of them we piggyback off of races that already exist. So we're able to help with local races as well as do our fundraising for our cause. Our first race is September 16th. It is Idaho Running Day half, and our second race is September 23rd. That's Fit 1. It's those ones are back to back. We have a nice break. We have 1 weekend break. We always say in 4 weeks, but we do get a 1 weekend break, which is nice. Yeah. So our third race is October 7th, Rush Creek Stampede. It's kind of the fan favorite of all the runs that's in Cambridge.
there are some
There's a
hills.
few. Don't even think, it's so pretty. No, it's because it's so pretty, and honestly, it's a smaller run, like, yeah.
Scenery's so nice.
Food and beauty, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of a fun one because you'll see at Fit 1, it's huge. It is huge. And we'll kind of like, we're all at different paces. We'll lose track of each other, and it'll be fun to see each other here and there and run past it. But Cambridge is so fun because there's not a lot of other runners. So a lot of the time it feels like our group of people. And it's just a unique experience. It's out in the country. It's so beautiful. It looks like a painting out there. What's really fun about it's a road, and so what's fun about it is actually we have a lot of family members come, put their kids in the truck, husbands or wives or supporting grandparents come, and they drive the course, and they can kind of like support, hold signs, and so you get to see people along the way, and it's just a really special run for us. So there may be a few hills, Kim, but it's okay. It's still a fan favorite. And then our final run is October 14th, and it is the race that we put on. Run for Heaven's Gate is what it's called. And Yolanda, who's not here, she busts her butt every year to make sure we have city permits. We have all of the stuff to set up for the starting line, and sometimes a timer, and then she needs help. So the help we need is water stops. If you guys have friends or family who maybe don't even know that they can donate money, maybe they want to donate time and they say, how could I help? We have water stops, and we make it really fun because we'll have families put together a water stop. I mean, we've had like bacon and the weirdest things
Pizza?
brought. Pizza, bacon.
Yeah. It's our last
Yeah.
race, and so the water stops. We usually have a competition. Yolanda gives away, is it a free pizza party? Or
I
something?
didn't-
Yeah, I think
Is that what they win?
give a pizza party in the best water station.
Yeah, so your small group, your Girl Scout troop, or
I mean, ask first.
Ask
I volunteered my husband, and Yolanda's calling him, and he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like,
Oh, by the way, you have-
yeah, it was a whole thing. And my husband's like, what am I doing? And what do I need to do? So ask people first. Don't just be like, oh, my husband would be fine doing this. He was fine doing it, and it was fun, but you do provide some of the stuff at the water stop, like if you could grab Gatorades or waters and little cups or snacks, then, and some people do themes and different things,
yeah,
so.
we've had families do like a luau theme. We've had last year our church radio station sponsored one, and they had like donuts and like candy at theirs. And so there's lots of creativity that goes involved in the water stops, and then at the end, all the runners get a vote on their favorite one, and the winner gets a pizza party. So if you have somebody who's interested in supporting you this way, or you have family that's like, what can I do? We want to help cheer you on. You can let us know that you have somebody who wants to participate in a water stop at our last.
Also,
race.
it's so fun to have family and friends at that one because it is it's ours. We put it together. It's just us.
It's a closed race, so
Yeah.
it's not open to the community. It'll just be our team.
But like our kids join, or
Yeah.
you know, if you have family that wants to like run a couple miles with you. I mean, we love to bring our community in, but it is ours. It's just ours. So it's a really special race.
And you can turn them into your cousins and say, oh, I need a coffee, oh, I need a
Yeah.
water, and things like that. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We come up with ways to get our family involved in lots of creative areas. But that one's really special and fun, and it might sound weird to eat donuts halfway through your run, but it turns out it's fine.
Turns out it's your last race.
And it's your last race, and it's fun, and everyone's passing each other like eating donuts. It's weird, but
Way more casual.
it is. It's a really fun, special run. So Yolanda works really hard at that. So if we can get some people to volunteer, we will have a list. Okay, we're gonna have.
We're gonna send out a sign up.
Yes, I was supposed to have a sign up here, ready for that. But just let us know if you know anybody.
Yes.
Is it 4 or 5?
Is it
I think
usually
It's
four?
four.
Four or
It's
five.
4 or
4
5.
to 5.
Yeah, we try
stations.
and keep them like every couple miles on this one, and it's an out and back, so we don't need like the full 5. I'd say yeah, 5. But I mean, if 5 different people want to, but yeah,
To
5.
be completely honest, we were supposed to have a sign up sheet here for that.
And I might make one here in a minute, real quick.
But there was a ball that got dropped.
We'll edit that out.
Pardon me? Or
No,
I don't
me.
know.
It was me.
Okay,
I was just making it.
we're just volunteers.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Okay, so we have just a couple more things and then we'll open up to questions. So we have an all-team meeting. This is the only time we have our whole team together before we get to break up with our team leaders. And that's August 26th, and that will be at Dottie's house. So we'll send out the address for that. And then packet pickup this year is going to be at Chick-fil-A again, so we're very excited. Yes, Chick-fil-A September 7th, and that's the one on Franklin.
Yeah.
For the Franklin and Milwaukee one over by the mall. So you can make a night of it. You can come, bring your kiddos or grandkids, and
I think
Have
Chick-fil-A donates a small portion that night. Yeah. And sometimes.
I think so. But
Sometimes, but.
we'll know more about that to come.
But that's when you get your shirt that you're gonna wear for all your runs. So you don't want to miss picking up your shirt
Yes,
and your packet
yes.
and your
then-
sweatshirt.
And there's going to be some cool stuff in our bags. I've already heard some of the products that are going to be in there, and I'm really excited about them. So the other thing we wanted to let you know is there is going to be a benefit concert, 452-4 on Sunday, September 10th at 4 p.m. That's going to also be in Dottie's backyard. So there's a band coming to play. You can bring a picnic dinner for your family, hang out, and then invite your friends and family, and they are just asking for donations for 524, and all of that money will go to us. So there'll be more information about that to come as well. So does anybody have any questions about anything regarding fundraising? Sarah?
Are we sending an email of all these dates to the team?
Yes, we will. Yep.
Yes, Joey.
What time is the TV on the 26th?
We don't. It's well.
That's what I thought it was pretty good.
We're going to look up the time of the team meeting on the 26th at Dottie's.
What time is the, sorry.
Yeah, no.
What time is the races start?
They're all a little bit different, but Dottie's really good at the week of the race, she sends out a really detailed email of what time it starts, what time to be there, what time our picture is, because we meet for a picture, you know, before the race. So
Did I get like a range? Is it like a morning?
sometimes they're 9, sometimes they're
So Idaho running
7.
day
Which
will
one?
probably be around 8.
oh, it's dark.
Fit one will be,
Fit one's like 7.
Fit one's like 7. Cambridge starts later. Cambridge, because it's a couple hours away, it's more like a 9 o'clock start time. And then our race at the end is usually 8 o'clock. So,
I didn't know if you could do nighttime.
Nighttime could be fun.
could be.
Ooh.
Usually we have our picture about a half an hour, or we take a team photo before every race, and that's about 30 minutes before the start time of the race. So,
Wear your shirt. Wear your shirt to all the runs. The
Very
you have.
And if you're a walker, run walker, there's a group of us that usually start an hour early on most of the races. Cambridge especially, because we don't want to be last, we miss all the soup. So we get out before the runners, make sure we get to the soup.
The soup is so good, you guys.
I can't tell if you're joking.
No, we're so
All the soup, and you'll get back and there'll be no soup.
And that's what we're running for, not the kids. It's the soup.
You're running for the soup.
It's multi-beneficial here.
Yeah.
Mary actually brings up a really good detail, and that because we have a lot of walkers, and we want our walkers to be a part of our team and a part of the festivities. So if time is like not important to you at all, we really encourage you to start early with the other walkers, because then you can participate in all those like after race things with the rest of us, because we know it just takes longer, and that's okay. But we still we want you to be a part of stuff. And
So
if
we do
it's
they'll do a team picture, like a
Yeah.
little, like a group of us, hey, we're walking. Yeah, good question.
no, they're on the back table.
Take
And
as many
they're-
as you think you need.
Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
bundles of 25. That team meeting on the 26th is at 6:30 p.m. So if you have,
Early birthday.
actually, you do not still have this list of important dates. I have a ton of flyers. It has all the dates and times and the address to Dottie's house where you could drop off your funds.
I'll just like,
Any other questions? Hallie?
Do you know, honors, is there a minimum, I know it's been posted with $250 and automatically sent a tax receipt. Do you know if donors will be requested for
That I don't know. Yeah. That I don't know. I can check with Corinne.
I think she would send it out. She just does like a mail merge. She probably sends it out
Right away.
Yeah,
I know for like personal donors, it takes longer. So I don't know what the, yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of tentative, you're right.
Yeah. So it is at Chick-fil-A on the 7th. So you can make that note.
So if you have a pen, change it right now.
do you know what time it is?
From 4 to 8 or 4 to 7. So you can come to the packet pickup anytime in that time frame.
Okay.
So to just grab your bag. Anything else?
Any other questions?